Hello, good evening and welcome to Business Now, the program supported by Absa Bank Uganda, now rewarding every spending through its new Island Escape card. Simply use your Absa debit or credit card for your daily payments and stand a chance to win an all expenses paid island getaway for two. And that's Absa's way of turning everyday transactions into extraordinary experiences. Now on the show this week, a major corporate announcement as Airtel Uganda reports remarkable performance. We also speak to the man at the center of the Uganda-Tanzania relations as fresh oil and gas infrastructure deals signal a new phase in regional energy integration. And later, Uganda and the Democratic Republic of Congo deepened bilateral engagements as the 9th session of the Uganda-DRC Joint Permanent Commission was held here in Kampala, with renewed calls for stronger trade ties, regional cooperation, and joint efforts to address insecurity in Eastern Congo. Now, this is Business Now. I'm Malcolm Sime, and it is supported by Absa Bank.
We have been assured that the first oil will come out 31st July. I have been to Tanga from inception 2022 when they were breaking the ground and clearing the bushes. Now I've seen Tanga becoming into a marvelous industrial park.
All right, before we start off, let's have a quick look at some of the top business global stories dominating headlines in the markets. And global markets are heading into a critical week dominated by three powerful forces likely to shape business sentiment, investment flows, and economic outlooks across the world. Now, the center of the investor attention, rising geopolitical tensions in the Middle East and fresh concerns over oil routes through the Strait of Hormuz, with crude prices remaining above $100 a barrel and raising fears of renewed inflationary pressure. Meanwhile, the artificial intelligence boom continues to fuel record market valuations as technology giants pour billions into data centers and semiconductor infrastructure, even as questions emerge over whether the spending surge is becoming unsustainable. But let's focus on tech now. This week we take you to the UAE, where AIQ is mentioned as part of the UAE's $1 billion Africa's AI investment plan, with reporting noting that the initiative is tied to AIQ, which is listed on Nasdaq, and that the program creates a commercial opening for Emirati AI firms to scale across African markets. We talked to Dennis Joel, the CEO of AIQ, on what this means for oil-producing countries like Uganda.
And when it comes to Uganda, we believe that having a new facility, in the energy sector, you go from mechanization to automation, from automation to AI. And we believe the new energy systems and what Uganda will have will already be well positioned for the AI piece. Because the newer the energy systems are, the more ready it is for the AI sector. So when you think about the different things that we've done, as I mentioned earlier, we've done about 200 different use cases. One great example is our ability to automate our wells here. We've got, we're in 25% of ADNOC's wells, we're in 20% of their reservoirs, and we're about 100% of the drilling rigs, automating and making more efficient or making more sustainable or even making more safe the energy system here in the UAE. And we believe we're able to do the same thing for Uganda. We believe that AI can make those energy systems far more safe and far more efficient, and really that's the role we play within it, and that we believe that we can do the same for Uganda and be able to utilize AI to make the systems more efficient in Uganda.
This is Business Now, and we're supported by Absa Bank Uganda, rewarding everyday spending through its new Island Escape card. Simply use your Absa credit card or debit card for your daily payments and stand a chance to win an all expenses paid holiday for two. Now, this is Absa's way of turning everyday transaction into extraordinary experiences. Let's dig in. I was invited to the 9th session of the Uganda-DRC Joint Permanent Commission as it opened in Kampala and heard renewed calls for deeper regional cooperation, stronger trade ties, and joint efforts to address insecurity in parts of Congo. Now, speaking at the opening of the three-day meeting, Ambassador John Leonard Mugera said cross-border trade between the two countries continues to support livelihood and regional integration, describing the partnership between Kampala and Kinshasa as critical to peace and economic growth in the Great Lakes region.
The social and cultural subcommittee is going to be chaired by Mr. Oundo Mukaga Charles, who is a Minister Councillor in the Department of Regional Economic Cooperation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It is a pleasure to welcome you all to the 9th session of the Uganda Democratic Republic of the Congo Joint Permanent Commission, the segment of senior officials. Uganda and the DRC not only share common borders, but also deep historical, cultural, and economic ties that have continued to grow, and it is our responsibility as delegates here present to ensure that those relationships and bilateral relations are strengthened. It is our expectation that at the end of this JPC, we'll come up with practical measures and actionable areas in which we can be able to advance the socio-economic cooperation that we have in the areas that we are going to be discussing. As you may be aware, the trade volume between our two countries continues to grow. The value of our bilateral trade is over $800 million annually, and we believe that there is scope for even enhancing it further. Bilateral trade has created opportunities for businesses, both in Uganda and the DRC, supported livelihoods, and contributed significantly to regional economic integration. Both our two countries are members of the East African Community, so at that level of cooperation, there are a number of issues that we've agreed upon, but at the bilateral level, we can even speed up the implementation of those regional frameworks.
Vous vous souviendrez que lors de la dernière session, commissionniste à Kinshasa, il y a eu des projets d'accord que nous avons harmonisés.
The trade between the DRC and Uganda is growing. It's over $800 million annually, and we believe that there is scope to increase it. And that's why we are going to be discussing what are the trade barriers that we see and how can we resolve them. We're also going to look at economic cooperation generally. We are going to look at infrastructure in terms of rail transport, roads, energy, and then we'll be also looking at other sectors, including defense and security, because as you know, defense and security is so important. We have ongoing cooperation between the DRC and Uganda, and we would like to see that improved so that we can have peace and stability, and that can give us an environment for trade, for investment.
Now, this is Business Now. I'm Marco Msime, and it is supported by Absa Bank. Let's also delve into trade now, because the ambassador of Uganda to Tanzania, Fred Mesje, has told NTV Business Now in an exclusive interview that Uganda's oil will be flowing into the East African crude oil pipeline at least by July 2026. He also says that the economic benefits along the pipeline route is enormous and livelihoods have been transformed. He adds that out of the mission's commercial and economic diplomacy program, trade and investment deals in the production of wine and manufacturing of fertilizers were completed and set to provide jobs and put revenues into the local economy.
We have been assured that the first oil will come out 31st July. I have been to Tanga from inception 2022, when they were breaking the ground and clearing the bushes. Now I've seen Tanga becoming into a marvelous industrial park. when you see what is in Tanga, you think you are in Nigeria, in these big refineries or Dubai or where. Unbelievable. The tanks, the pipes, the systems, the jetty which pushes the oil through the lake to the waiting ship, all that has been constructed and is 98% almost complete. The pipeline from Hoima to Chongolyon is already 90% of it is already buried. So we are looking at 31st July to see the first oil coming out. July 2026, oil will come out. And then that is what we talk technical. But there is also now the political, which will be in October, commissioning of the now flowing, because oil will take, see the pipeline is such a long journey, 1,433 kilometers. So from July, when we do the technical testing, by 31st October or 30 October, the oil now will start flowing to the international markets. But Tanga, you need to go there and see. Because if you imagine people who were involved in digging that ocean, establishing those infrastructure, the pipes that came from China, from wherever to be transported, the coating yard where they are coating these, insulating these pipes, the trucks, the people who were involved, there is total social and economic transformation between that whole region. People have really transformed. Those who benefited, where the pipeline passed, they benefit. They got houses, they got school fees, they got money, they have got the improved agricultural systems. The system has improved through education of how to live, how to grow food, how to rear cows, how to plant trees. So there's this total transformation through constant education throughout the life of the project, and it's going to continue. Secondly, when you see the youth that were employed, tremendous transformation. When you see the service providers who are supplying food in the camps, total transformation, social and economically. Now, that is even before the oil comes out. But imagine when the first oil comes out. Now, the hope I want to give every Ugandan or every African, that Africa is endowed by all these resources. Oil, the whole of Africa has oil, okay? The whole of Africa has all those minerals that are required for even running the electrical buses and the planes and whatnot. So, the ordinary African, ordinary Ugandan should be very hopeful that now, with the capacity that has been built over this time, over this period, Ugandans and Africans have built capacity that they can harness their resources. And in Uganda in particular, specifically, this oil is going to come out. This oil is going to transform Ugandans. This oil is going to create total transformation. And with the laws and regulations that have been been done in the country, there is no room, there is no gap for wasteful expenditure. All the expenditure, all the revenue is going to be, it has been planned to transform every Ugandan, transform every inch of Uganda, and even to have reserves for future generations. The refinery, we are going to build our own refinery, which will be processing 60,000 barrels per day in Hoima. And of course, there will be other petrochemical industry that will emerge from that. And the industrial park has been earmarked 29 square kilometers, or square miles. But in addition, there is this discussion that the region is going to build a refinery in Tanga, that there is some oil within the Tanga region. So definitely there is a very good hope that regionally we're going to see the merging of regions to do another refinery in Tanga. Okay? And then this is the pipeline.
Let's also talk corporate announcements, because Airtel Africa has delivered its strongest performance yet on record, posting 29.5% jump in revenue to $6.4 billion and a 147% surge in profit after tax to $813 million from the year ended March 2026, as demand for data and digital financial services accelerated across African markets after rolling out more than 3,250 new network sites and extending fiber infrastructure to nearly 882,000 kilometers. Airtel Africa now plans to increase investment further to $1.1 billion this financial year. And finally, the 2 decades one Ugandan-founded idea has been quietly supporting boardrooms, transformed careers, and trained thousands of leaders across Africa. What began at a time when corporate coaching was barely understood in Uganda has grown into a continental leadership movement spanning 26 countries and more than 100 institutions. So tonight we trace the journey of Coach Africa, from personal setbacks and skepticism about coaching in the 4 corporate entities across the continent.
Along the way, I was visiting somebody in the US and talking about how difficult it is to discover what you really, really want. And then they told me, why don't you talk to a job coach? I didn't know about coaching at all. And I was like, a coach? Anyhow, I spoke with a job coach. The lady told me, but Nora, what you want to do is there as a profession. It's called corporate coaching. I had never heard about it. And that time, of course, there is no internet and what. If you wanted to learn about something, either somebody tells you or you look for a book. There was no what you call now any virtual learning. 20 years ago, when we started in 2006, the issue was one of awareness. And the question we were handling then was, what is coaching? What is that? Is it training? Are you counseling? Are you? And we would start by explaining what coaching is and helping them to understand that this is, we shall be having a conversation where you increase your self-awareness, where you understand your challenges and whatever you are working on, you articulate where you want to go, and you set stretch goals, and we shall be walking the journey with you as you look at how to achieve those goals in the most efficient way.
20 years ago, if you looked at the banks in Kampala, every the executive directors were expatriates. It's not only the banks, including even the hotels, any large institution. At that time, it was believed Ugandans cannot manage. So we were getting people from outside to come and manage.
This ministry every 2 years runs the Service Delivery Satisfaction Survey. And every institution within government is measured whether their clients have received the satisfaction from their service delivery. So from the baseline of the previous 2 years, moving forward, what has changed? So the investment in capacity, in leadership capacity building, should be able to tell us what has changed. We should be able to track and see that there is value for money.
Leadership is not only taught in class, but it is practiced. So they have taken us through projects, and these projects have supported the bank in terms of equipping our staff with skills and competences, which they use to bring about transformation within the bank. The institutional gains will be realized probably after maybe 1 or 2 years. It may not be as immediate, but it is a very good thing to embrace as an institution.
Before Coach Africa intervened in our business, we had professionals, but there was no team spirit, teamwork, how to organize them to create tangible and profitable work, and we were able to register improvements in our systems.
The future is going to be, how do you measure the value that you get from a coaching experience or a coaching program. And that is where the ball game is right now, 20 years later.
And that brings the curtain down on this edition of Business Now, where markets, money and momentum meet. From billion-dollar telecom growth and regional energy diplomacy to cross-border trade on the future of East and Central Africa. The message this week is unmistakable. Africa's economic story is becoming larger, faster, and increasingly interconnected. And Business Now has been proudly supported by Absa Bank Uganda, now rewarding everyday spending through its Island Escape card campaign. Simply use your Absa debit and credit card for your daily payments and stand a chance to win an all-expenses-paid island getaway holiday for two, because at Absa, every transaction could take you somewhere extraordinary. You can now continue the conversation and follow me on X at Malcolm Sime. And next up is NTV Tonight.